Hello, people. How are you doing? Thanks for joining this week Inquisition with Andy from Mediocre Hobbies. I started 30 seconds early to see if Penge will be 30 seconds early, which I doubt, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see if he joins. And this is the end of No New Guest November with Andy from Mediocre Hobbies. How you doing, mate?
Hello, pal. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I coming through clear myself?
Perfect. So we're just waiting for Casey, and as I say, he'll probably about 2 or 3 minutes wait. He's probably fighting with his son trying to get him to bed on a stupid. I don't know if you could catch yourself, but as we all know, bedtime routine, you'll never find a hungrier, thirsty, or a child that wants to give you more questions and answers before they have to go to bed. Do you ever experience that yourself?
No, I'm all
Not,
good.
not yet. Honestly, a kid will always be hungry, always be thirsty, or want to go into in-depth detail about their school day just before bedtime. It's
Yeah, it
brilliant.
seems like the way to go. Yeah, a lot of nieces and they all seem to be the same thing. It's my sister has this great thing she does, which is those like sensors for alarms that are upstairs. So
Yep.
around Christmas time, she says that that's how the Santa keeps an eye on her. It's in the corridor. So if you come out of your rooms, he's going to see you on that, and then he's going to know, and then they never come out during like November, December. They got to be good for Santa. So that's one that always works.
It's a different way of doing it from the muttered threat of physical violence when we were children, probably.
Just a slight difference, but it's
Yeah,
same idea, I suppose.
yeah. But how you doing, Andy? Thanks very much for joining us to finish off No New Guest November.
No new guest November. It's an interesting topic, an interesting like segment just to bring back some of the older guests and stuff like that. So it's very cool. Yeah, I'm always happy to join. Always happy to natter someone's ear off or be nattered too and have a bit of a chat about the hobby and stuff. I mean, it's my favorite thing to do, so why not do it here?
Exactly. Like I know that you stream Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I did a last Saturday. I did a 16-hour stream.
and you had Peachy on for the first hour.
Yeah, he was on for the first hour. Yeah, it was very funny. So that was a bit of fun. We were live for about 10 minutes and I was talking to chat and then he was like looked up and was like, "Wait, are we live?" Yeah, for the last 10 minutes. All right.
Classic Peachy. So for the folks that don't know you, and there must be maniacs that don't know you, do you want to just give yourself a brief introduction of who you are and what you do?
I am Andy. I run the YouTube channel Mediocre Hobbies alongside Laura. She is the brains, and I am just the hands, to be honest with you. And my whole purpose is to create easy to follow guides for painting miniature working models. I think there's about 1 million channels out there that do how to paint masterclass stuff really well, and they're a little bit convoluted, a little bit difficult for the average painter. So my goal is to alleviate the fear of painting. So yeah, let's say you want to paint Mortarion. I have a video on my channel that will show you how to paint Mortarion, and it's not difficult to follow and people can achieve and stuff like that. So that's my whole goal. I worked in Games Workshop for 15 years. I managed the store. So I seen and heard the sentence so many times it used to drive me crazy, which was oh, that's a really cool model, but I could never do that. And then they don't buy it. And they like, I hate the idea that someone isn't getting something they want because they're afraid of painting it. So I want to alleviate that fear. It's the whole purpose. Get rid of the fear. Hello.
And for folks that think that he's talking absolute bullshit, he's not. Like I have been following his scheme for my own death guard, and I
Yeah.
even followed part of his scheme for his Lucius. I changed a couple of colours on it, but
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
I actually followed his scheme for my Lucius as
No.
well. And here's one of my death guards that I've been copying his scheme on.
Look at that green. It's so good.
Yeah,
There you go. It
honestly,
works.
like that using the yellow over the green to make it that putrid colour. Oh, chef kiss, as
So
Casey
easy.
would do.
Yeah. So easy.
Yeah, so and I'm looking forward to maybe doing a couple of more Emperor's Nonces just to continue your future. I know that on your channel, obviously follow Mediocre Hobbies on here, folks, and as well as YouTube. You did 3 different paint schemes for the Emperor's Children as well.
Yeah.
What was your favourite one out of those 3?
The pink one. and I wasn't expecting to fall in love with the pink one, but the two thin coats like triad of pinks that they have and I used are so good. And then I just got like I love the result. Like I had already painted the Lord, you know the way I did the Lord video, and he was in the purple scheme. It was like the first video I did. Like, because I was like, that's the scheme I'm going to do. Then I did the three infantry, and I was like, shit, now my Lord is the wrong color because I've got to go back and paint another one up in pink now. So yeah, I love the pink one. I think it's so cool and vibrant and different on the tabletop. So I'm gonna stick with that. And I don't really like purple for some reason. I don't not like purple. I just don't enjoy painting purple. So yeah, move away from it. Do some
One of those
blue.
colours I don't get on with purple. It just
No, I don't get on with it.
doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
I had 14,000 points of Lizardman in purple for the old Warhammer game, and they immediately got branded the Barney the Dinosaur Army. And then I don't think I liked them ever since.
That's fair enough. I have to say as well, apart from Dunk bigging you up, I've given you Skaven a go from your when you did the last AOS box launch. Gave a couple of them a go and loved them, but unfortunately, I got ruined because I bought some online that were painted albino, and I just fell in love with them, so I had to go back and start again. So,
Albino
but,
is in the lore. It's a thing Skaven can be. It's very
yeah,
rare though.
mm,
The bodyguard of the Great Council, all their
that's the
ones.
one. Yeah, it just looks really unique. So,
It's sick. Like it's awesome.
pain in the arse to paint. But.
But
Yeah.
how does that feel knowing that people are following your schemes and taking inspiration from yourself? That must make it like even more happy. It must make you a wee bit more happy that you've changed. You decided to leave Games Workshop and go all
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, like it is a great like sense of achievement. I'll get like two examples I have is I went to a Warhammer World's first old world tournament they ran after they brought it back, obviously, and I was sat there, and then like two people individually had walked up and been like, "Come here for a minute," and I followed them down to their armies, and I was like, "This is my army, give me my army back." And he's like, "No, this is your god." So that was really funny. And then I was walking around at Adepticon, and same thing. I walked up to a table and I was like, looking at the models, and I was like, wait a minute. And he's like, yeah, these are your knights. I'm like, they are my, give me my knights back. Everyone's painting my toys for me. And so it was a duo team at Adepticon. One guy did Bretonnians, one guy did Tomb Kings, and they both followed my video. So it was just like looking at my armies on the table. So it was really nice to see, and it was really cool. And like I said, it's great to see the schemes actually being used and being easily achieved and stuff like that, which is like I said, the goal. And so I love it. Like it's just great. Like
Yeah, I know when we've had other guys who do sort of painting schemes and stuff, they always feel it's nice that people have sort of taken what you've done and replicated or
yeah,
tweaked something, made like, look, you've done this and this is what I've mostly followed, but I just changed that. And, you know,
yeah.
it's got to really sort of make, at the end of the day, all the effort that you put into your videos, like Dunk says, is the reward isn't what you do, it's what other people are showing you.
Yeah, yeah. And like my goal is to just have everything. Like I want to have the ultimate catalog of videos. So it's like if you just go, oh shit, I just bought this thing. I'll go see what Andy did for it because it's there. So currently we're on over 1,100 videos, and I've only been doing it for 3 years. You did the math on that one.
I was gonna actually say with obviously your channel over the last year, you keep going and you just keep going strength to strength. You know, obviously, like I'm not gonna lie, I've got it up in the background on the TV as well, just to make sure I don't make an absolute tit of myself, which,
I
as
would do the
Doug will
same
attest
thing.
to, I am known to do. But you know, obviously, you've got your cafe schemes on there, you've got all your Saturnine stuff on there. You know, everything that pops up, you're smashing it out. Do you ever just sometimes sit there and think, slow down with these new releases because I'm knackered?
No, it's not. I don't get knackered with that kind of thing. I know that I'm the anomaly when it comes to that, but I'm genuinely like I'm not addicted to nicotine. I'm not addicted to alcohol, but I'm definitely addicted to Warhammer. Like criminally addicted. So the idea of just constantly doing the new shiny thing excites me, and I have a purpose and a reason to do it. Um, and I don't get that feeling like, oh shit, Warhammer community just showed this thing that I have to do next week. Oh no, like no, I'm just like, yes, this is the next thing. This is the next thing. Um, there's definitely reasons to slow down and try and make more concise videos. Like obviously the algorithm is a funny thing. So if you got my channel open now, you will see that each individual video as a singular thing doesn't get as like that many views.
Yeah.
But over the course of the 30 days of videos, I will get more views than the average one. So like I made the comparison like a while ago because you can check on a different website. It's like if you take the Suggs podcast, I get more views than all of them put together. But each of my videos is only a couple thousand views. But like I said, I put out 25 videos a month or whatever. So it all adds up. And I've got this huge catalog of 1,100 videos. If every video only gets 10 views a month, all of a sudden that's huge extra numbers and it all adds up and stuff like that. But individual videos not getting big views is a problem for sponsors. Because if a sponsor sponsors a video, they're like, I want that one video a week that's going to get 100,000 views, not one video out of 4 that's only going to get like 5,000 views. So that's the bit that I'm struggling with my business model that I didn't really think about when I started, was that little bit. So it's one of those ones that's a little bit difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
But like with your videos, like how many hours are people watching? Because like for myself, when I was doing the Fabius one, I think it's maybe a 15, 20 minute video, but it took me like 2.5 hours to watch it. I was like painting a bit and then watching you and then rewinding it back.
Yeah.
And then watching it again. So yeah, even though you've maybe only had like 4,000 views, say, for the Fabius one,
Yeah.
it must be quite a long view because people are maybe reversing it and then rewatching it.
Yeah, the views may be up a little bit because of that, but I think someone said the other day, and I'm not quite 100% sure how it works, but it would make sense, and it's that only 2 views count. So on your YouTube account, you can watch that video twice and I'll get 2 views. But anything after that, I don't think counts as a view. So you can't just have bots farming and rewatching and all that kind of stuff. So, and I don't know how that works with like rewinding and watching a bit more and rewinding and watching a bit more. I don't know how that messes with it. So I don't know, honestly. The hours are up, but it's not. It doesn't count as you watching it 50 times or whatever. So.
It's funny you say that as well, because there was something, and I wanted to bring this up later, but because you mentioned it now, I'll bring it up now. There's something I was watching on, I want to say Twitter or something, I don't know, I just bounce around different social media. And it was a guy who had this thread, and he was explaining that recently, because of the way the YouTube algorithm works, that he's lost views off his videos. And because his account is monetized, he's ended up owing YouTube money.
No.
I didn't quite understand that, because it just seems insane that you can put all your effort and all this stuff into videos and then they come along like, okay, this person's probably watched that 20,000 times, but going on what you're saying, if it only counts twice, they're removing views off of their videos. It just seems insane that
like
that could be a thing.
The only thing I could see for stuff like that is if somebody was like I said, they had done botting or something like that and they got fake views. You can do all sorts of weird shit to up your numbers. So if they had paid for numbers to be boosted and that's why YouTube paid them, then that's like fraud. So YouTube is that's probably, you actually owe us money back, as opposed to, I've never heard of anything like them requesting money back, but the algorithm did make a change a couple of weeks back, or a couple of months back now, and everyone is struggling a little bit with it. Like everybody's numbers are consistently down, and everyone's like trying to fight for revenue from other places and stuff like that. So it's a funny time. Like usually this time of year is our most profitable time because advertisement is the most up. People put the most amount of money into YouTube advertisement in October, November, December for the Christmas period. But that doesn't seem to be affecting in the same way as it did before. So I don't really know.
On that then, are you expecting after Christmas that you're going to get a bit of a jump? Because everyone's going to have their nice new shiny toys and they're going to want to know how to paint them. So are you thinking ahead, like, what's coming out? What can we do? What can I do about that?
Yeah, there's definitely, like, it's funny because there will be a jump in numbers and a drop in money. Because once again, the views are like, they're like, it's like a, you know, the views go up, but then how much YouTube pays for it depends on how much revenue they're getting in for ads. They're not getting enough money in for ads in January, so what you make will go down. So you'll get more views and get paid less. So it's a funny one, but yeah, there's definitely a thing of like even now me and Laura looking at the battle boxes. So we would go through those and be like, okay, let's break those all apart. What things have we already done videos for? Okay, let's put them into a playlist and then mention, oh, by the way, guys, you've got this Battle Force box set. Here's 4 videos to have you painted or whatever, and so on and so forth. So if you're clever and you organize your videos enough, then yeah, you can use those to your effect and get some really nice stuff going with that.
Where do you keep it all?
What do you mean?
Where do you keep all your models? Because all the videos that you have, like, do you have a second house in Dublin or a storage unit?
There's one set of cabinets.
One.
And there's
This feels like a proper through the keyhole moment. Who lives in a house like this?
Yeah.
so yeah, it's everywhere. There's a side room. This is my studio is in an attic, and the way I designed the attic because they gave us like I don't know why they did it, but you can't really tell from it. But the ceiling is like they're like 18-foot ceilings. So I don't know why, just the way they've designed the house. And I pulled the walls in so I could fit cabinets, which means behind the walls in the eaves, like I'm 6'2" and I can walk around in there. So I've got those on both
Yeah.
sides for storage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
I'm 5'7" and I've got a crouch in my loft. So there you go.
yeah. Like I said, because of the tall ceilings, it means like I can have storage in one, and then my print farm is in the other. So all the fumes are away from me. I don't smell them or hear them or any that kind of jazz. So yeah, very good.
So we've got our first question from Kitchen, our friendly Italian German. She is asking, do you still have your very first model?
I don't. I wish I still did have some of those older pieces. My first experience with the Warhammer was buying the 3rd edition starter box and then the Metal Fellowship set and the 9 set with all my community money. And then I bought that in a place called Blanchardstown, which is a shopping centre that was like kind of on the outskirts of Dublin. And like my family only ever went there at Christmas time. It was like you go there once a year basically. So I got all this stuff and I brought it back and none of my friends were interested in it, and I kind of messed around a little bit with it there. And then I kind of fell away from it because I had no one to do it with. Then I found the shop in town a few years later, and then that's when it really went into turbo mega overdrive, where I would be in there every single Thursday till late night and weekends, and I would mitch off school and sneak in and spend the day there, and it was just the best of times, man. It was so good. But
Those Thursday nights used to be amazing back in the day, didn't they? Like, oh.
So no, I've got most of my like earlier miniatures, but that first lot of those models, those Space Marines and that Fellowship, I've since rebought the Fellowship, and I still have them like rebought the 9, but I wish I had bought the made to order 3rd edition box set when it was dropped like a few months. I don't know why I did this stupid mistake, because somebody handed in something a while ago and it was the box from the 3rd edition. So I have the original box now again in my collection. I was like, I need the models. Because I don't know whether a lot of people know this. So these are the Billy bookcases from IKEA, right?
Yep.
So if you space those out evenly, each shelf evenly, they perfectly fit one of the big boxes in between. So you can have it as the backdrop in a corner, and then the models from the box set set up in front of it, and it looks proper smart, like really good. So I kind of want to do that with a few of the starter sets at some stage and get it all sorted. So one of these
Sort
days.
my loft out. I'll have to get some Billies. There you go. IKEA must make mint off of hobbyists. Like everyone I've spoken to or know is IKEA they go to, never anyone else.
Now, yeah, we spend all our money on toy soldiers. We haven't got money for anything other than IKEA.
And at what point did your love for dreadnought start? Because if people don't know, you love a dreadnought.
Yeah, I'm actually going to get, so that's one topic with.
He's gone. That's it. You mentioned dreadnoughts. He's off.
See you later.
I'm actually feeling the dreadnought at the moment.
I did a video a couple of weeks back where I got my first ever dreadnought that I'd ever bought, and I did a whole strip and repaint job on my first ever dreadnought, and I just
yes,
so much.
I've got it in front of me because it was the Brazen Claw one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was like my own chapter. But when I painted up, someone came along like, "That's the Brazen Claws," and I was like, "Yeah, kind of is, but not really." So, but yeah, so I had him. He was like one of my first big Space Marine models, obviously back in the day, and I must have used him in every single game I ever played ever, back in 4th edition. And yeah, he always I loved him so much. So after that, yeah, dreadnoughts just became the next thing. I just kept buying and collecting, and then yeah, if you see this video, the start of this video, I think it's the start of this video, you see on the table, and I think there's like 50 dreadnoughts on the table. And it's just ridiculous. So I have no intention of stopping. They're just one
Because
of
you've
my
even
favorite
you,
things.
you, you've even built from the dreadnaughts and launched into knights, and you've got your Reaver Titan on there as well. Is it just anything that's a big robot ticks your boxes?
It's just any model. Like it's not even big robots. Like it's just dragons or giants or anything. Just I love it all. There's like some people ask me sometimes like, what do you not like that Games Workshop brought out? And it's a real struggle for me because I just love. I grew up on their aesthetic and their style,
Yeah.
and like their heavy metal paint style. So when I see their miniatures, my jaw just hits the floor. I just want to have it, and then I have to get it all, and that's the problem. So yeah, like I want a big studio not to make bigger and better videos, just have more places to display toys.
Yeah, and as Dasmal was saying in the comments there, the old metal dreadnoughts back in the day, you could stick them in a sock and
And kill
beat your
someone,
bully
yeah.
at the back of the head with them. They were ridiculous dunk. They weighed a ton. And
Yeah,
if your arms fell off if one of the arms fell off mid game,
you're done.
you were knackered because no amount of super glue was putting that back
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I always describe fourth edition. I talk about the stupidity of the Devastator squad. So in fourth edition, the Devastator squad was a plastic body, and then metal arms
Yeah,
and metal cabling, and then a big metal backpack. So it was completely top heavy. And then everybody put all the Devastators in the tops of the buildings for the best line of sight. So as soon as the table got nudged a little bit, all of them tumbled off and broke into
yeah,
a million pieces, and it was just awful.
they were ridiculous again. Like I used to love that about the transition between second to third to fourth was they had all the old metal stuff and they were kind of like plastic body, just shove metal on it, solid,
Yeah,
it'll
just
do.
just it'll work. It doesn't work at all. It's an awful combination. And even back then, you think about like I still think to this day one of the biggest scams Games Workshop ever did was their super glue because it was just water in a pot. It never put anything together. Nowadays, you just get cheap gel super glue, and you like my Reaver Titan is no pins. It's just gel super glue, and it's like a rock. Nothing is ever falling
Yeah.
off it or breaking it. Like you don't need anything more. Um,
Is there any dreadnoughts that you don't have in your collection that you would like?
yes, I don't have the metal venerable dreadnought from fourth edition. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was on the shelf for years and I never bought it. A friend of mine has one and he's painted like a Nova Marine and it's sexy. And now if you look it up, it's an arm, a leg, and then another arm to buy it, which is annoying. And obviously I do a lot of the ones I've got kind of a thingy, so the Grey Tide Studio ones.
Yeah.
So me and them have quite a good relationship. I actually did a video for them today on sneak peek videos now, yeah, on a Legion of the Damned.
Ooh.
So it's all converted up with their flesh. So like from their stuff, I've done all their dreadnoughts except for the Dark Angel one. So I've got to do a Dark Angel one now. And then they brought out their Salamander pack, and I messaged them. I was like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?" They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Where's the Salamander dreadnought bits? Like, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Okay, fine, we'll get on it." So if the Salamander dreadnought appears from them, it's my fault, and then I'll have to do that. So yeah, the current want is the Metal Venerable.
Yeah. It's classic. That's a lovely model. Like all of that, like I say, that between third, fourth, fifth, everything that they were putting out then was just immense. And I don't mind it. I still don't mind some of the stuff now. Like when you wandered off, I was just saying to Dunk, I'm currently building a Brutalis, and I
Oh,
like that. Again, I'm looking at the instructions and seeing all these tiny fiddly bits and panicking because it could just be one huge arm you just glue on, but no, you've got to stick all the tiny pins and. But
yeah, I've talked to the designers about that specifically, like what's the deal with that? And they talk about the idea of because the question I asked was if you've ever built a tomb spider from Necrons, or you've ever built one of the squig buggy trucks from the orcs.
mm,
And I'm like, so for instance, the squig buggy trucks on the ground inside the cab is like rubbish. There's like little crush up cans and everything like that. But once you put it together, you can't see it at all. And same with the tomb spider. Inside the tomb spider, there's loads of baby
Yeah.
scarabs, and then you
yeah,
close it, and you can't see it. And they were like, it's for the joy of building. We want the building to be as much of a part of the hobby. You're supposed to enjoy. So they're out there thinking that people are sat there being like, oh my God, I can't wait to spend the next 4 hours building this. No, we don't want that. We want every model to be in 4 pieces. I want to be painting 20 minutes ago. Okay, just do it.
yeah.
So yeah.
There's a lot to be
We
said for the
really
old
should.
easy to build stuff. There really was.
I mean, we really should be getting an updated Hellbrute at this point. Do you not think?
No, we got an updated Hellbrute when like we got the one that came with not Assault on Blackreach, the Dark
Dark
Imperium,
Vengeance.
Dark Vengeance, and I hated that one because it had toes.
Yeah.
And then they brought out a multi-part one which had proper dreadnought feet. Do you mean just like bigger? Do you think it's just too small now?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think he's updated like in that aspect. Like the Grey Knights are tiny now. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, if you
Grey
look
Knights
at,
are a disgrace right now. They're
yeah,
awful looking.
they're too busy throwing out stupid Space Marines. I think some units should be getting a wee bit more love.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, specifically the Grey Knights. Like when you read about them in the lore, they're like I still remember in one of the more recent books when Gulliman meets the Grey Knights and stuff, and they've got a big gnarly chain wrapped around them as like a half demon, and Gulliman wants to chat with a demon, and you're just talking about like the next day, all the Grey Knights leave the fleet. They don't talk to him. They just do it, and you're like, they just emanate power, and then you get these wiggly little models that are just crap looking. But
Yeah,
I think they like the power armors have been crap since the day they came out. I always thought their bolters are way too big on their wrist. It's like
Yeah.
having a toaster bolted to their arm, like it's stupid looking. Um,
It's like someone's got the most ridiculous watch known to man.
it's like a Pip Boy. That's what
it's
it is.
bigger, way
Yeah.
bigger than a Pip-Boy. It's ridiculous. And it just throws off the whole like rhythm and flow of what they like. It works on the Terminators, but it doesn't work on the power armor at all. Which is a shame. But I think like but we've seen what they can do by the new champion. What was his name? Kotia? No, no. The new character they brought out in plastic, but who carries the demon blade?
Oh,
Fortiers,
I
he gorgeous, like 10 out of 10. We saw him, we're like, oh, so that's what Grey Knights are going to look like in a few months. That was years ago now. Where are they, guys? Where are they? Oh,
no love for them at all. It's mad, but they're just. I think it's just the constant. We know what sells. We'll release something that sells every couple of weeks, and then here's something that's just a bit more niche for someone else. It's their
I
product.
think like Grey Knights would sell more than like Votan, for instance, like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's certainly armies of 40k which are less popular than other armies.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like it should be like we should have, because it's not a big release. It's like they just need new Terminators and new power armor dudes. That's all that makes up the models, and they would be gorgeous, and people would buy hundreds of the kits. At least I would.
It's like I'm praying for a Traitor Guard Legion in the next few years, but I doubt I'll ever get that. But people say I'll just buy like Imperial Guards and then just but I want Traitor Guard. I don't want Imperial Guard.
The kill team they brought out for them is gorgeous. The 10 man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got the blooded kill team, and I'm still messing about with the scheme. I was thinking and doing it in the kind of running man prison guard style
Yeah.
scheme. But I'm still messing about with it. But I'm just going to ask you on your stream on Saturday, how did you find streaming for 16 hours? Were you
16 hours on my feet.
Yeah, how was it?
It was fine, yeah. I think my training has being in a Games Workshop on my feet all day, every day, doing hobby is the same thing. So it wasn't that bad. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a good amount of people, kind of like 80 to 100 people there the whole time chatting. The chat was like, I think at some stage we were like halfway through and someone had figured out the stats. They could check some. They're like, there's like 2,200 comments already. I was like, what the shit? But it was constant like things to chat about and stuff. And there was obviously a lot of banter with the Titan as well, because for so long it looked like I was getting nowhere. Like I decided not to do any hobby while Peachy was on. I was like, no, I'm just going to chat to Peachy. So like, you're going to not do. So it was an hour and a half in, like, you haven't picked up a brush. Go. I'm like, that'll be fine. Don't worry. So yeah, it was in my head. It was a success. I've got the Titan here. Hold on. See if I can get this thing in the frame.
Just go and pick up a Titan. I'm
Remember, folks, orange brushes 10% off using Inquisition.
Jesus Christ. That's like carrying a baby.
It's more heavier than a baby. It's so heavy.
I don't know, man. I was pretty heavy as a baby.
You look at.
And that's Andy, folks. Thanks very much for coming on, Andy.
So I kind of achieved it. Obviously, I wasn't supposed to.
Oh,
I wasn't supposed to end the stream until I was finished, but I was like, he's mostly finished and I'm tired. So I'm going to do another video where I finish it as a whole video and do all the details and stuff. That was cool. We had a financial goal to reach, which was $2,000, and we're currently at like 2,400. So we smashed the goal as well. It was a really good cause. I ate military MREs. That was the only food I could eat. So I had 2 military MREs well, I had 4 with me, but I ate 2 of them. Yeah, they were
Don't miss
fine.
them.
They were fine. I enjoy it. Every time I do a long stream, I get MREs just for it because it makes eating even like part of the entertainment, a bit of fun. People don't want to see me at Domino's showing the door. They don't care about that. But they see an MRE and they're like, what the hell is he about to eat? And you hold up a rank looking slice of pepperoni pizza and they're all giggling and laughing. And then you bite it and you're like, that actually tastes pretty good. So I'm kind of okay. um, so,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what. Just
There you go.
before you jump in, where you said you raised nearly 2.5 grand, what charity are you raising it for? Just in case anybody doesn't know and wants to donate.
So it's St. Francis Hospice. So unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, Laura lost her mother to cancer, and that
Okay.
was where usually I do this stream every year because it's in November. It's for men's mental health, but because of what happened, we decided to switch it up. And the hospice center, which took care of her at the end of her life, so they're currently trying to raise to expand and make the place bigger and be able to offer more services. So we did that. So we raised some money for them.
It's beautiful. That's brilliant. Dunk's spinning around, and the last time this happened, the stream died. So I'll apologise now. But while we are waiting for Dunk to reload, looking through your channel and all the videos you've done this year, what has been your favourite?
Favorite video? I'm gonna have to actually, because I've one of the things I do have is a shocking memory. Like a lot of the times, I'll do videos and I'll like someone will be like, "Oh, have you done a video on this?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Let me Google search my own channel and find it." I love that I finally got a new Lysander. That was a pretty big deal for me. I've been wanting him for 20 years now, so
Yeah.
that was really cool. I like doing all the old world stuff. I was really happy to have that Bretonnian trebuchet. Like I really was really pleased with how my Bretonnian trebuchet worked out. I made it a whole scene and everything like that. That was a cool video. Heresy stuff was cool. It wasn't my favorite. What would have been my favorite thing? I love the balloon for Cathay. I love
Yeah.
how that turned out because the people talked about the idea that the transfers were going to be pretty much impossible, and then but these are all transfers.
That is insane. Like,
Cool.
So that was a really cool one, and I was really happy with that, how that turned out. So I don't know if it's hard to pick a favorite. Nerval.
and I tell you what, while you're thinking about that, Tim's hobby, and this is going to be another question I was going to ask Tim. Thanks for jacking it off me. If you
the guy I said that has the freaking metal venerable dreadnought that makes me jealous. He's a good friend of mine.
go, well, you know him. He's jumped in and said, if you could go back and redo any video, what would it be?
That's a good question. What video would I redo? Shit, that's a hard one. I don't know.
Is there anything that you've painted that you've put up or you haven't put up where the paint scheme hasn't went as what you did as you expected?
There's a bunch of times when I've gone to the end of painting and I've been like, I don't like this, but then Laura's just like, no, you've just been looking at it too long, so we're gonna post it anyway. And then we post it and the video does great, and everyone's like, oh, it looks amazing. I can't wait. I'm like, okay, apparently it works for some people. But there's definitely things that I painted. I'm like, oh, I'm not really feeling this. Because I genuinely have no plan going into it. I sit down and I take out a model and I go, cool, this is the first color, and I take it. I don't go, I know this, and I don't do a test, and I don't figure out color palettes on a screen, or I don't know. I just grab a paint and I just go. So does my guest like cats? I'm fine with cats, but I'm a dog person.
Sorry, Jan, you're out of luck tonight, mate.
No luck, mate. No space cat marines for you tonight, Jehan. Unfortunately. Have you been playing much Warhammer? Or are you just solely concentrating on? But I know Broadsword was a few weeks ago. Are you tempted to pick up playing again?
Yeah, I want to. I played a bunch when Old World dropped, and I had a lot of fun with that, and I was loving it. And then it just kind of fell away. Shit got in the way. My plan, I play more kind of friggin' D&D than I've been doing anything else. Because someone else organizes it and goes, be here on this day at this time, and we're all going to do this thing. I'm like, great, let's do that. But I've said to myself from January, every second weekend, one of the days is gaming day, and I'm going to organize games and play. So I at least want to play once every 2 weeks. and then try and get myself to some of the events and stuff like that. So I want to play more, especially because I do so much hobby.
Well, if you're about Donegal in May, the Donegal Dice Finals are having the Call to Chaos 5, Call to Chaos Air in May in Mount Erigo Hotel for 2 days if you're interested. Tickets are 40 quid, and you might get to play me, and you might get a cigar if you play me.
What's the game system?
It's 40k, so
will it be that like tournament setup with the little L-shaped buildings that don't make any sense the way they're all set up?
I think it is. I think it's WTC.
I hate that. I hate it so much.
Yeah, but I think our first guest of non-new guest November, Shane, he's coached the Northern Ireland side. He's running it. He's running it, so it will be well organised, and I will be asking him the same questions I always ask him. What does Sustain 5 mean? What does Anti-Infantry 4 mean? What does Melta 2 mean?
Just to drive him up the wall.
Yeah, he says, you've got the rules, go and fucking read them.
Yeah, go and learn it. Yeah.
What does the M mean in the movement phase if you go?
What does Strength 16 and Toughness 1 mean?
God only knows what that means. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like I said, I got the games that I do want to play more of are the old world. I do want to play 40k. I want to play in the 500 Worlds campaign style thing. Some of my friends are talking about getting involved with that. But that like tournament style, I cannot stand tournament. Like when I look at a tournament board, I get sad. I genuinely get upset by how foul looking the tables are with those stupidly designed. Like it's all maximized so everyone has equal terrain and equal cover and equal. I'm like, we're not playing chess, guys. Like we're in a war zone. Just like you've got a bit of building, I don't. Cool, I'll deal with it. I'll set up different, or I'll maneuver different, or
Yeah, when I first started playing 40k, I thought that's what it would be. I thought like I would get some terrain, somebody else would get some terrain, and we just start putting terrain out on the board, and then we roll a dice, and whoever gets the higher number gets to pick what side they want to go on. So nobody has got an unfair advantage. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing when it's like, oh, it used to be 15 inches in and 14 inches up. I hate that.
Yeah, I've said it before on stream, and I think, as we've sort of said, coming from 3rd and 4th edition, when it was just, here's what your board is and here's your deployment zones, just throw terrain on it for fun. And that is, like, especially when...
Vanguard is in. He's the only person I was thinking about when I said this. I knew he'd be annoyed.
He's going to log in just as you're bashing them with WTC.
Log in then?
It's all right, because I'm going to jump in and bash it as well. I am not a fan of it. Personally, I know there are people that love it. I know there are people who really enjoy it. It's just not for me. I just like the old school sort of look of here's some random jungle trees on a board with a cardboard fire base, which I am desperate to get a hold of one again.
No, they're a pain in the arse.
But
I used to have
just
a system for setting up the board, which was I would roll a d3, and it was very simple. And it was, if you got a 5 or a 6, it was a dense city, so you put as many buildings as you can, kind of thing. I always put them diagonally, like there's no like straight roads going from one side of the board to the other. It was always, I always like diagonal. I always wish I could have got the the 40k plastic table that they brought out.
yes.
I have it, but I wish I could have gotten it and added an extra layer all the way around, and then rotated it 45 degrees, then cut that out as a 6x4 so the roads would go diagonally. But anyway, that was heavy city, and then if you rolled a 3 or a 4, it was half city, half jungle. So it was jungle assaulting a city, and it was a 1 or 2. It was just trees. There's no buildings on the table for 40k, which was mental, but you couldn't plan around it. You just roll at the start of each game, then you set up that table, and you play and you learn, and you have a different game, and it's awesome.
It's a good system to have, right? And it keeps everything unique. It keeps it interesting, because I think for me that is the main thing. Like everything L-shaped, everything with the levels and the base sizes. You just look at it and it just feels stagnant, I think is the best word. And this is my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm not bashing anyone who likes that stuff. You go do that.
I am bashing. Here's the one reason, right? I don't mind the stagnant look, but I like seeing the table, and I'm like, put down roads. How does this make any sense? Because it's like a building here, and then a building here, and then a building. I'm like, how do you put down a road? Who would build a city like this? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, what's going on?
That's a
Yeah,
fair point.
we're in a house that's been getting bombarded the shit out of from space. Yet we can like there should be rubble everywhere.
Yeah.
So like infantry units can do their thing, and artillery units can only go so far and do their thing.
Yeah.
I think
That's anyway.
I think in the grim darkness of the far future, there is no adequate city planning. That's where's the gas mains? Where's the water pipes? No, it's just carnage.
Yeah. Gamble Trip used to sell roads. It was a little strip of lino back in the day.
So what's your next project? You've done the Titan. What is your next big project that you're thinking of doing?
I was trying to clear some of my larger Forge World stuff before the end of the year. So I think I only have two big ones left, which is I have the Taunar, the giant Tau battle suit, the big triple giant cannons on top, sexy beast. And I have the Astraeus, the Space Marine big floaty tank with the guns, the big one. So I've got those two. So potentially one of those could be done by Christmas, maybe. And then project-wise, I want to get more old world stuff and more of my Imperial Fist done. So they're my like two primary focuses right now. So got to finish my Bretonnian army once and for all, and then more Imperial Fists, I think. So they're like nagging at me and stuff. That's other things keep stealing away my attention, but I want those
just
done.
just on the Bretonian stuff, then, with the new Warhammer Quest box coming out, and we've seen some people's own the Warhammer community articles on it. What are your thoughts on the minis? Because obviously we know a lot of people out there have got a lot of love for them, and being that they are Bretonian flavour, that's got to be a bit up your street, isn't it?
Yes. They didn't put my one in the article, but yes.
I haven't read the article, so I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to cause shit there.
Nah, they got a million entries, but yes, the miniatures are 10 out of 10. They're stunning. Um, like I love them. You got the Bretonnian Knight. I thought it was so impressive when they showed off the four heroes, and you just assumed that it was four heroes, and then they dropped the reveal and like, oh, there's seven heroes, and you're like, what? And then there's three extra mental people added in, and they're so cool. So all the heroes are top quality. And the bad guys I think are even nicer than the the way they're coming out kind of separately for the Nurgle guys for Age of Sigmar, like the Pestigors. For some reason, the Pestigors that are coming out in the box set like by themselves, I don't really like all that much. But the Pestigors inside the Hero Quest box are unbelievable sculpts. So I'm thoroughly, I was about to say enjoying painting that, but I will be enjoying painting that when I get around to it. So yeah, that's a very cool set, and I hope everyone gets it. And my friends are already talking about trying to play through it. It's between 1 and 4 players. You can play it by yourself actually.
Yeah.
But my group is about 7 or 8 like hardcore hobbyists. So either we're gonna have to do 2 different campaigns, or some people are just gonna be upset. So we haven't figured that out yet.
That's actually a good point, because I have heard about the single player aspect of it, and the new Kill team had that same sort of single player thing to it. What are your personal thoughts on that? Because again, like single player, I think it's great that you can sit down, you can figure out the sort of the core rules of how your Kill team would work. But when you actually then go away after playing it and learning it on yourself and play somebody else, it does sort of, it's lovely it's the social thing, but it's got to be a bit like, oh shit, hang on, I'm now actually playing another human rather than this got this profile, I can do this.
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to do something new to be a bit more inclusive, so it gives people a challenge and gives people a learning experience, but at the same time it's a disconnect.
I don't understand at all how it works for Kill Team, because that's a separate warband, like you're fighting another warband. Whereas whether you're playing 1 or 4 players in Hero Quest, you're fighting the board. So it's the same experience, it's just you're not doing it with anybody else. So you'll move in, like even with 4 players, you're not like the bad guys are not being controlled by any one of the 4 players. That's the board that moves and they fight and they come after you and stuff like that. So it's a fairly simplistic thing. It's still not something that I would do myself. I'm afraid, for me, it's definitely that social aspect of it. The only time I would do it for myself is maybe if I needed to record a video for it, I could show off how, because it's just be me here in the studio with the board set up, and I could do that. Yeah, it's done it. Skip Cooten Coldiv. The answer is yes, they did do a Cyphus Kane miniature, part of a Black Library set of exclusive models they did many years ago. It would be a site. It would be a Cypress Cane vignette is what you'd have to Google. It is absolutely atrocious looking, and it would cost you probably in the region of between £200 and £300 to get your hands on. They did a whole series of them. There was a bunch of different ones you could buy. I don't know why they did them. They were limited to like 500 of each one made and stuff. They were made in metal. Sorry. So yeah, they
Do
did.
you find though that like some Games Workshop models like from back in the day are coming like CEX computer games that are ridiculously shit, but it's because they're so limited now that people are willing to spend an absolute fortune on them, even though they might not be the best computer game or the best figure.
Yes. Like if that shit Cypress K model came up online tomorrow for 100 quid, I'd buy it. So yeah, I don't think it's worth 100 quid, but I'm a huge Cypress Kane fan. He's my favorite series of 40k books. So I would want that. And Commissars are one of my favorite things. 40k, full stop. I've got all like pretty much have every other Commissar sculpt that ever came out. Even the ones that were called Imperial Commissars. No, Imperial Chaplains back in the day. I've got a bunch of those ones. But yeah, I don't have that one, so it drives me nuts. My collection's not complete.
It is weird how it sort of holds its value, or it doesn't lose value. Some minis, isn't it? It feels like a little bit of an Antiques Roadshow sort of thing.
A little bit, yeah, for sure. But I do like the Games Workshop is fighting back against that. Obviously, it's for their own commercial gain, but I do like the made orders because some things are ridiculous. Like I one of my goals, my hobby goals in life is to collect every single miniature that they ever released for Lord of the Rings. And I would say I've got about 95% of it already. Like I love Lord of the Rings. But there was some models which were ridiculous. Like they used to have these miniatures called unreleased miniatures. You can Google it, Games Workshop unreleased miniatures. Like if they're unreleased, then how do people have them? But back in the day, we used to do like studio or like factory tours and stuff. You could get them and stuff like staff members could get them casted up and it wouldn't be a big deal when the company was smaller, wasn't it? So yeah. Some of them are out there and they were worth an absolute fortune. So like something as simple as like, I don't know, it was like a ranger with a horn from like for like the Dunedain or a Dunedain with a banner. Like he was never released. Or there was a special berserker for the Urukai, and he was in like the magazines or in the books. You could be like, oh, where's that model? It's like, oh, we never released them. And then they redid the Command Squad a while ago, and we're like, okay, there he is. We just released him now because he was going for like hundreds and hundreds. Like, yeah, he's like €8 now. Like, relax. So I love that because some people do definitely take the piss with secondhand buying, and the secondhand market can be disgusting. Yeah. I don't like that. So
I mean, you see that in the Star Wars community, like Pruneface, who's like a very niche character. I think he appears in Return of the Jedi, is probably one of the most sought after figures there is. He doesn't even do anything in the film. He's just a background character, but
yeah,
people want him.
People do want that, like finished. Yeah. Well, see, I think there's a difference with the Games Workshop stuff and that stuff because, like, if they released him now, it still wouldn't change the fact that the original one is worth the same amount of money.
Oh,
it wouldn't devalue the original one, but the 40k one would devalue. The Warhammer one would devalue, which is funny because after you build and paint it, you don't know if it's an original one or not an original one. But so who knows?
Yeah, I've fallen into that trap. I wanted to get a hold of a metal Yarrick, bought one that was described as metal, and it turned out to be fine cast. I was livid. Yeah, but that's the risky take.
I bought a Commissar before, which was he's in the trench coat and he's like pointing a pistol to his left. He's got his hand behind his back and he's pulling the riding crop. And I wanted him for ages, and I finally got him. And when I turned it off, someone had tried to clippers off the riding crop, so his hand and the thing, and it was all wrecked. And I was like, well, that didn't show up in the description of this model for sale, you dick. So yeah, that was a bit annoying.
So I'm just going to jump forward a wee bit, right? Because it's a question it's in my head, and I've asked everybody who's came on the last few weeks, and it's so I don't forget. Right, 11th edition probably coming out next year. Yeah. Who would you ideally like to see as the big baddie for 11th edition?
So what would be? I think I had an answer for this a while ago. Who was I thinking? It wouldn't be. Oh yeah, I think it's going to be back to Chaos, and I think it's Red Corsairs. So I think Huron Blackheart is going to come back as a new miniature. He's the only kind of Chaos hero that hasn't been done. We have a new Lucius, new Typhus, new Abaddon. They're all Araman. They're all done. It's just him sat there not being done yet. And in one of the latest novels, like at the end of it, he's taken his fleet to assault the White Scar's homeworld. He's like, I'm going to destroy the White Scars. Like, I want to destroy a first founding fact, like completely. And that's his like random crazy goal. And then considering he is like, it's like Abaddon is the most powerful, and then just after it is Huron Blackhearth. He's such a big important part of the story. So I think they're tying that up to have maybe those kind of Red Corsairs versus a Space Marine faction of your choice.
I mean, I think it's pretty much everyone, when we've asked this question, everyone believes it's going to be White Scars who are going to be the chapter of choice for the new box set. So that does actually make a lot of sense.
I get that people want that, but that has to be the one that everybody shows every 10-year-old how to paint in the stores. So it's not going to do that.
Here you go, learn how to paint white. Spray it white, you're done.
We sell White Scar spray, then paint the wheels black and go away. Just, you're done. I genuinely think they take that kind of thing into consideration now. I don't think it'll be White Scars in the box set.
And do you see a Primarch coming back, either good or bad? Like what Loyalist Primarch do you see coming back, and what Chaos Primarch do you see coming back? Could we have Lordguard and Erebus coming back, for example?
They should just be deleted from the lore because it's Erebus. But no, they should be. I'm sure they will all come back at some stage. I have the most controversial theory on who the next Loyalist is, and that's Ferrus Manus, the one that's been beheaded at Istaban. I think he is the next Primarch to return. And I think he will come as the commander-in-chief of the Legion of the Damned. So we'll get Plastic Legion of the Damned, and that's the army that he's leading around. Because once again, in the lore, the Legion of the Damned have been cited, and they have been cited with being led by a much larger version of them. So there has been seen basically like a Primarch version of him that's in the lore. And they've also retconned that it's not the Firehawks. It's basically any Marines that have been kind of betrayed or abandoned. So the Istvan drop site massacre was the largest incidence of that. So the amount of, drop site massacre guys would become Legion of the Damned. Like, for instance, we saw a scene when Cadia fell. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole story was the Phalanx, the Imperial Fist's flagship, immense vessel of awesomeness. Once had a crew of over 100,000 Marines. Like, that's how big we're talking. And during that fight, all of the Imperial Fists were fighting. So they just had the scout company on board, the scout company and the crew. And then they got boarded, heavily boarded. And they're like, shit, we're going to lose the Phalanx, guys. Like, we are so screwed. The Legion of the Damned showed up to defend. So they cleared the decks of all the bad things. And then as all the story goes, they then usually just dissipate and they disappear after their work is done. They stayed and crewed the Phalanx for the entire engagement, like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So they're not just the Firehawks. I definitely think they're going to come back in a big way. And I think we're going to get crazy Ghost Rider, Skull, Flames, Ferrus Manus, Primarch of Doom, and I think it's going to be absolutely wicked. So that's what I want.
So with Ferrus, thinking about this, Dunk, sorry, before you jump in there, mate, do you think it would either be like the Thing from the film The Thing, where it's like his head is just scuttled off to survive, or have they stuck his head in a jar like Futurama and just mounted it on a giant robot body?
Horus has his skull as a cup in the Siege.
He does, yes.
Yeah.
So his head is not there anymore.
So somehow his body's just walking around without a head on it, like, fuck you guys.
Ghost Rider Flaming Skull, that's what I'm picturing, yeah.
So I think it's going to be like Rise of Skywalker, somehow Ferris came back.
Yeah. That's what we need, man. That's all we want.
So obviously you're a big Imperial Fist fan. Who would you have playing in a live-action version of Warhammer as Rogel Dawn?
That's a tough one. Rogel Dorn. Who would be a good Dorn? I mean,
as a hint, I've said Dolph Lundgren in the past, like young Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, that's a solid choice. Like, Dolph Lundgren, MIT genius, 17 feet tall, those big blonde locks. Yeah, he could definitely be a Dorn, I think. Is he gruff? Yeah, that's a good one. Dolph Lundgren is a solid choice. Everyone just wants Henry Cavill to be it, doesn't it? But he can't be all the Primarchs.
And people have said that. Tim Hobbies said the man that plays Reacher. People have said him as well.
Yeah.
He's a shit actor. I fucking hate him, but I do like Reacher.
Oh, he's fun. I know he's not amazing. He's like Jason Statham. He doesn't play anyone but himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, fun projects and stuff.
He
I
was
want to
good in
start.
Blue Mountain State. If you've ever watched that, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Yeah. I don't know. But,
It
Well,
is a difficult one.
Stephen Lang, thank you very much. Control Twitter.
why Stephen?
Yes. Control Vault Delete. There we go.
Very much. But yeah, I mean, Legion of the Damned, that is, I mean, they are an amazing Legion. Like, I mean, I'd actually just finished listening to Fulgrim there again because I was going through some audiobooks and so fuck, I'm going to listen. So I downloaded the new John French Dropsite Massacre book. So I wanted to listen to Fulgrim uh, before I started listening to that. What books are you reading or are you listening to this now yourself?
So I'm currently fully up to date with the lore up to from like the split of the Imperium all the way like up to now. So like they released a catalog of those books a while ago where they're like, this is all the current lore in order. And I'd already read a bunch of them, but I went back and I made sure to catch up entirely. So I'm totally up to date on all that lore. And I'm currently reading the new Night Lords novel that just came out. Only a couple of weeks ago that dropped. And then after that, I'm reading the new Town novel because apparently those two new battle suits are in it. So I want to read about them and find out what they're about. So,
Actually, here's another good one. Thinking about the lore, knowing where we're going with the 500 worlds
yes.
and what they've released on it, and given that Titus has sort of popped up out of two computer games, and all of a sudden he's back in it. Now he's like thrown in the whole main character. Do you think that they're really leaning into the fact that it's not just the books that are driving this now? It's everything. They're trying to combine every little aspect of what they're doing. Because when you complete the first Space Marine, you're just kind of like, okay, what the fuck? And then they've made it work for the second, and they're making it work now going forward with the new mini looks wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Do you think it's like we're in like halcyon days that the lore is being taken not just from the book? It's a computer game. It's a throwaway article on the community side. They're really making an effort to combine it all into one thing. Whereas before it might have been weird, fragmented short stories here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely prefer because like even on my stream the other day, someone was talking about the Conrad Curtis isn't dead, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He got his head chopped off, and they were like, no, apparently like in the lore, there's like a recording of it happening, and the recording cuts off just before the strike, and that's the canon. And I'm like, no, in the Night Lord's book, you literally see the assassin walking out holding his severed head. So which lore is the right lore now? So that's really annoying. So I do prefer a solid, consistent story. I like knowing the lore really matters to me. So I'm okay with it being like that TV show on Amazon Prime is part of the lore. That book is part of the. I'm going to put out a crazy movie. That's part of the lore. I love all that, all these characters. Yeah.
So we've got kicking back in asking if you were to join Corn or Slanesh, who would you choose and why?
Open
Neither.
it up. Any of the four, not just Cornwall, Slanish,
Nurgle.
let's say.
Nurgle would be my primary choice, and then after that, it would probably be. I don't like corn. I'm not a big corn fan. I don't like Thousand Suns either. So it would be Slanesh after that, I suppose. Especially with the new Emperor's Children model, they're pretty sexy, and I enjoy painting that pink scheme. But I mean, it's Nurgle all the way for me. Top
Why
of the
Nurgle?
I like the models the most. Like I've got 5 great unclean ones on that shelf right there, and I love each and every one of them. I've always wanted to do a campaign where somebody fights like a Nurgle infested world, and then like let's say it would have to be like me against a couple of my friends, and the idea was that there's like 8 great unclean ones across the world in the whole campaign. So you fight a couple of missions, you get to a bigger game where there's one great unclean one and they have to defeat it, and they have to do that over and over again until all the names, because each one would be a different model. It's really the same guy. Oh, he's here again. No, that one died. Here's a different one. And then yes, like the Nurgle Toad Dragon and all the Forge World ones. I just love Nurgle for the longest time. I just think it's just so cool looking. It's so much fun to paint, and so beautiful in their own right. I know they're gross, but they're so good to paint. Like, yeah.
So in all the lore, what is your favourite bit of lore in a book for yourself?
Favorite bit of lore in a book. There's so many because I've read everything. Here's a little snippet of something that it's not my favorite bit, but it's stuck with me forever. Right? If you go back to like 4th edition Codex, okay, there used to be that thing where if you opened on a certain page and there would be like the galaxy and there would be like little points of interest. And it's like, oh, this, like if it was the York book, be like, on this one is a wow this and this one is wow that. And then
Yeah.
the Space Marines. So in the Grey Knight one, there's a moon in that thing. It's like, this moon is completely barren except for a single small structure, which is guarded by 2 Grey Knight dreadnaughts at all times. And that's all it ever said. And that has been annoying me for 20 years. What's in the damn room? Because back then, like, the dreadnaughts were Forge World models. You never saw one in person. You're like, these are like the most powerful things ever. We didn't have custodies then. We didn't have knights. You're like, what is in there? So, yeah.
I used to love little things like that in the codexes as well. Just like random little bits of flavour that just thrown in there. Just someone sat there as a random idea. It's like, that'll do. Chuck it in there for good measure.
They
Like,
did it like 6th edition with the same thing. The Grey Knights they talked about. There's like in their like repository of like artifacts. There's a box, and on the box is a symbol. And that symbol is only found in one other place in the galaxy, and that's on the Golden Throne. You're like, what the hell's in the box? What's the box for? Is it the reset key for what's in? Yeah. What's in the box? That's Ferris Manus said. There you go.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it'd be quite funny, like, in about 2 months' time, Luton or Sandman of Terror drop a 4-hour lore video on those 2 dreadnoughts that are just.
That's what you want. That's what I want. I want to read that and find out and stuff. Someone said Dorn's mummified hand. I have one on Dorn's mummified hand as well. Like it's something that I always triggered me and I thought was really funny, which is like they have the hand. The hand is part of one of their relics, and they inscribe every chapter master's name on it, right? When did they start that? Who was the first chapter master that was looking at Daz's relic hand, being like, you know, what would make that better? Write my name on it. What? Are you
Steve
insane?
was
My
some,
hand.
some
I'm
Imperial
that
Fist has sat
important.
there and just gone, Steve is here. And
Yeah,
that's it.
basically. Like, what?
I am not
Insane.
important to this Legion. I'm almost as important as Don. Put me in his hand.
Yeah, literally.
It
So,
is
like,
those beautiful little things, man. I'm going to jump back to your channel quick.
yeah.
It's just, as we've been talking, it's just refreshed. Your new video's gone up there.
Oh, has it?
Yep. Looking at it and looking at everything that you do, if you were to do a project and you wanted to work with somebody else who has a channel or does like a painting thing or whatever, who do you think it would be? Did you go out and watch other people's stuff, or do you
I
just
watch
solely focus on your
everybody's
own?
stuff. I am a consumer as much. I'm a fan of everybody as much as I am. Like Fridays are my favorite day because I get to watch everybody's new video. Um, I'm also one of these people that when like you ask me a question, I'm just gonna say exactly what I mean, and I don't care about how that would be seen. So, for instance, Squidmar is currently my favorite content creator. I love Squidmar, but I think a lot of his videos recently have been quite shit. In that, I hate the I bought 10 crap things on Temu. I'm like, I don't care. Can you just do some hobby, please? Like, I don't care about Temu. I don't care about like you know, Buzz Kill. Like, I just don't need that buzzy shit. But they get views and he gets paid, and it's totally his thing to do. That's totally fine. So like his whole series on painting the Manta and doing the Titans and all. That's some of the best like enjoyment to watch YouTube. So like, I go back and watch those series as a series sometimes. I'm like, today I'm just gonna watch through him painting a Metal Thunderhawk 5 or 6 videos and I'll watch them all back to back and it's just glorious. Um, but like recently enough, I've started watching a lot more of Eons of Battle. But before I started, I thought I didn't like him because from years ago, a bunch of his thumbnails rubbed me the wrong way because he'd always do the like sad like I fixed Games Workshop's shit thing and you know those videos. And as soon as I see that kind
YouTube
of thumbnail, I'm
face.
like, couldn't be arsed watching you. You're clearly not a nice guy or whatever. And but now I've been devouring his content for weeks now because I was like, it's just wrong. His hobby's awesome, and he's very much like me, I think. So, who would I like to do a collaboration with?
Or is there anybody who's out there who doesn't get the following, who's really good at Capture Your Eye? Because like we could all say, oh, I'd love to collab with Peachy or Duncan Rhodes or Vanguard Tactics or Davy Johnson down the road. But is there anybody you've accidentally stumbled across that's came up in your?
There's this really wholesome older gentleman.
Oh, thanks.
He's called Von Ketteringham. Um, and he does historical stuff and he's only got like 5,000 subscribers. He's done 710 videos and most of all his videos are just like a bit of a catch up, But like if you go back down and watch like one of his battle reports and you see the tables he set up and you see the quality that he paints every miniature to, like he's doing a Renaissance historical army, which is the most ridiculously colorful, beautiful thing. And he's like a master of his craft. He did a Vietnam board. It's one of the first things I caught, and it was like a 10 by 12 board, and it was a whole Viet Cong town, and he had all the Hueys, and he had all the guys drop in. And he's like, my mate's over, we're gonna play this for the entire day, and I'm like, I'm so jealous of you right now. I just
I
want to
think I,
be
s- I think I saw that board at Salute. It looked quality.
unbelievable. Um, have you checked out Mezgit's YouTube stuff? I didn't know Mezgit's did YouTube stuff. He's the one that does all of the Nurgle. Am I thinking of the right person? The C type. Yeah. I've been subscribed to him as a patron, so I can get his files for about 4 years. So yeah, ever since I saw his Death Guard stuff, they're all marine based, like big dredge suits and stuff. I was like, sold. So yeah,
Actually, that's another good point. Like, because with respect to with the 3D printing side of things, you've sort of touched on it yourself. Like, you got games like Trench Crusade and all of that sort of stuff coming out. You've done some Trench Crusade videos. How have you found the alternative to GW products out there that are, arguably you could say are getting better and better?
they are getting better and better, for sure. There's too many though. Like, well, I think it's not there's too many. There's obviously what is it, choice the spice of life or whatever. But the problem is like the customer base that they have is people who are kind of tired of Games Workshop.
Mhm.
So that's a finite number of people that are getting pulled in 150 different ways by all these different games and stuff like that. And so I think that's really difficult. Um, for a lot of them to like, some of them are going to be fantastic games, but they're just going to get fall by the wayside and be kind of destroyed. Um, Trench Crusade is great. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't follow the whole process of being created. It was just like one day it didn't exist, the next day it's all anybody was talking about was Trench. I was like, what am I missing out on here? So I've since gotten all the files and I printed off a bunch and I'm doing a whole video series on them, and having a lot of fun with that. Haven't had a chance to do a game yet. I do plan on doing a board. It's really cool, but people talk about like it's the GW alternative. And people talk about like, oh, this is the thing that's going to defeat Games Workshop, or like that whole tagline, which I think is the dumbest thing anyone could ever say. And I'll tell you exactly why it's the dumbest thing they could ever say. And it's an inarguable fact, which is no other company makes new hobbyists. Every other game siphons its customer base off of what Games Workshop created. They're the only ones with 700-800 stores around the world, bringing people in off the street, teaching them how to build, teaching them how to paint, getting them involved, and then creating those confident hobbyists, which can then be comfortable enough to go, oh, I want to try this other game. I want to try this other game. Like, if Games Workshop didn't exist, neither would any of these other small companies. They just wouldn't, because they would have no customer base. Which
I mean,
is
it would be something else. You know, if it wasn't Games Workshop, maybe it would be Dungeons and Dragons would be bigger, because obviously Dungeons and Dragons inspired Games Workshop. But I think the only people that could defeat Games Workshop is Games Workshop themselves.
I think if Games Workshop never existed, D&D wouldn't exist the way it is now. And by that I
Mm.
mean people wouldn't have miniatures and tables and stuff. It would all have remained pen and paper. It's
Yeah.
those people who like miniature painting and then try, like me, who then try D&D. It's like, oh, do you want to play pen and paper? Nah, man, I want maps and I want tables and I want models and I want to like be totally invested in it. Um, but yeah, what do you mean? What do you think Games Workshop will destroy games, or what do you mean?
Well, people say, oh, like, the only way Games Workshop could go out of business is if Games Workshop go out of business. But if they just do something ridiculous, I feel, I mean, that's the only way that,
Yeah.
or they overextend themselves and they become bankrupt. Do you know what I mean? But then there's always going to be Games Workshop stuff. It's like Pokemon. Like, if it wasn't for Pokemon, there wouldn't be a lot of game trading cards and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I know people
So
who are like Magic, and like some football cards are now worth a fortune. Like my mate Ruined, he was crying down the phone to me last week because he broke open a Yamal Barcelona card to go and get it graded, and apparently it was like worth £1,000 before he opened it, and he put his screwdriver in too far and scratched it, so fucked it.
Yeah,
But if it
brutal.
wasn't
Yeah.
for Pokemon, then there wouldn't be this.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right. The thing about Games Workshop is people don't really understand the business side of Games Workshop as well when it comes to how stable they are as a company. Like lots of companies will take out loans for big projects. So like they'll go to a bank and they'll say, I want to expand by doing this. But Games Workshop has no loans. It doesn't owe anybody anything. They make all their own manufacturing. They do have their own factory. They have their own, like, they didn't build a factory on a loan. They had money in the bank and went, all right, now we'll build a factory. So there's going at it by a business. It's just they don't owe anybody anything. So it's really hard for that to happen.
It's
And
the,
the one thing
it's the
about Games
Nintendo
Workshop,
it prints money thing, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
mean, the one thing about Games Workshop is as well, people are fiercely loyal and will
Yes.
defend it. For example, I put up a post about that stupid Mechanicum Scout Sniper dude that they released 2 years ago, and I tweeted it. The amount of hate that I got on Instagram, I don't give a fuck. I thought it was a shite model. It's something that I would never ever paint or play. But I swagged it off, and people were, oh, how dare you say that? That person, I mean, somebody designed that. Like, and it's shite. I don't like it, but people are so
Yeah, they
defensive about
definitely have
it.
that fierce loyalty. There's also that thing of like the whingy shites online are the loudest people. Like most people did. It's not a great model. Let's face it. Like in the reveals, they just showed off, and then they showed off the new Heresy stuff, and then they showed the Mechanicum. I was like, I really don't like any of these. These are all a load of shite. Like they don't look like, and they look more like Necromunda than they look like Mechanicum. So yeah, they don't hit the nail on the head every time, but yeah,
They don't, and I think there is a population group of there is a core group of people that will always go out and buy that box no matter what. And fair play, that's what you like. You do you. And I think sometimes people just need to learn to take a bit of criticism better. But it's the internet. Everyone's got an opinion, especially
So
Dunk.
I'm going to ask you your opinion. Something that was quite controversial came up this year. What is your opinion on female custodies?
fuck no,
No.
no female Space Marines, no female Custodes. I don't mind the Custodes so much, but I don't need female Space Marines. This is what I
See,
was talking about.
I have a theory that the two lost legions, right, and this winds people up, are two female Primarchs because big daddies love their daughters, and daddies will always protect their daughters, and daughters will always protect their dads. And when Big E comes back, out comes Cynthia and Samantha with our two Space Marine legions
Yeah,
that will
that's
just
not gonna happen. I
kill
hope that
people.
doesn't happen. I've said it before, like this is the thing. I will say exactly what's on my head. I don't care. And like I hate the concept of feminism for feminism's sake. The examples I give are here's the Ghostbusters movie. Okay, here's a girl version of the Ghostbusters movie where they're all girls, and here's an Ocean's 11 movie. Okay, now let's give the girls their own Ocean's movie, and it's Ocean's 9. I'm like, no, that's not how you do like strong, forward, powerful women in that. That's pandering. That's not what you want at all. You want things like Fury Road, like Furiosa was a monster, and she was so cool and so badass. That's what you want, not written for the sake of it. And there's so many cool, powerful 40k characters that are women. Lothora Sand jumps to mind, the captain of the Conqueror. Like the World Eater's flagship was crewed by this badass captain, and she took no shit. Cypress Kane, and you got obviously the Inquisitor from that. She was really cool as well. What's her name?
Kane had like the Inquisitor, the what was the Colonel, and then the Lieutenant. Like three actually really good female characters in it. Because even the Lieutenant, even though like all he does is complain about her,
Yeah,
she's going off and she's doing all sorts of
yeah,
madness and winning battles because he inspires her, and it's like, cool, off you go.
yeah. Like they just did in the series where you've got the female rogue trader who's from Fenris. She
Mm.
captains a ship called the Worm Slayer Queen, and she's got two axes and gnarly scars and big gin. She's fucking awesome. And like that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't just go, oh, now there's Space Marines are girls. I'm like, no, that's not the point. You're ruining the point. Like, um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
like
like the Siege of Terra puts there some quite really strong female characters. Even like in the militarium and the militia, there was some quite.
yeah. Like we're currently following Minka Lesk. We followed her from being a raw recruit, like White Shield almost on Cadia, and we followed her into becoming a sergeant. And she was a colonel. Now she's a friggin' general, and they gave her 2 models and everything. I'm like, that's how you do it. You told a story. You know why she's a badass. She survived the fall of Acadia, and took command of a regiment and led it. And you're just like, yeah, nailed it, perfect. So yeah.
So when you're not hobbying and making videos and doing 16-hour streams, what do you like to do to relax yourself?
Sleep probably. No, I'm a big like a movie buff kind of thing. I love movies. I love movies and TV so much. So I'll probably watch 10, 12 movies a week. So movies and stuff are a big thing for me. I do like the odd video game. I was a much bigger video gamer before I became a content creator. But now like I work for myself at home, so I can't sit here and play Space Marine whatever for 12 hours. Like I'm actually really strict. Like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I'm at my desk. There's no like I'm slacking off for the day. I'm staying in bed. No, that does not happen. Because you just can't do it. You're working for yourself. You're taking a day's work away from yourself. So that pushed me away from those big video games that I really like, which really draw you in. That take a lot of time. I can't do it anymore. So I got to book time off when the new GTA drops. So it's going to be a problem. But yeah, big movie fan.
And what any films that you're looking forward to coming out?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to ask.
Well, I'm hopefully going to sneak away and see Predator on Friday. I thought it wasn't going to be very good, but a few of my friends have seen it and said it's pretty good. So I'm like, okay, let's have an old goosey goo with this. Other than that, no, it's nothing I'm really like dying for right now. There's not really a lot on the horizon, is there?
Have you seen The Long Walk yet? Stephen King adaptation.
No.
It's pretty good.
All right, The Long Walk.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
basically
Mark Hamill's in it, isn't he?
Who's that?
Mark Hamill's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, a bunch of boys turn up, and it's basically the last one walking. And if they get warnings, and then they get shot if they fall back.
Oh shit! Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's good.
It's based off a Stephen King book, so it's like The Hunger Games before The Hunger Games came out. I think this book was written before The Hunger Games, so it's like a dystopian Earth where a bunch of boys, a bunch of young men turn up, and the last one walking wins. But it's all on TV, and people are watching, and
Dawn of War 4 is going to be devastating to your career. It's going to be a problem. Yeah. Like me and Laura are currently playing a game now called RV There Yet. I don't know whether you've seen it, but it's just like you're driving an RV and you're finished your holiday and you just have to get home, but the way is blocked, so you have to go through a back route. But it's like one of those games where it's just designed to annoy you. So you've just got to like you're trying to get an RV over a mountain and down a cliff and through a mine system and up a thing using winches and all sorts, and you get it wrong and it blows up and you're like miles back, and it's awful, but it's kind of fun. It's just so
sounds like driving in Donegal, to be honest with you. And does Laura enjoy being in front of the camera? Because we're starting to see more and more of her being in the camera now. Does she enjoy?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she just whenever she can, really. She'll be in front of the camera. Obviously, we just don't have the space for the studio setup that we want. It would rather be somewhere with more space so we can host games and do more stuff like that. But yeah, she's comfortable enough in front of the camera. Yeah.
And do you have any conventions that you're looking to go to next year?
Yeah, I definitely want to make it to the UK Games Expo that I missed last year. Apparently, that's the one that I'm supposed to go to every year. Vanguard gave out to me for not going to that one last year. He was like, "You need to go to that. That's like the big one for like meeting and greeting and chatting and stuff. Like it's huge." I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize." I went to Adepticon last year. I'm not sure whether I'll make it this year. Obviously, it's very expensive for me to go to Adepticon, like $3,000 before you expenses kind of thing just for travel and accommodation. So, but we shall see. We shall see. UK Games Expo will definitely be there. I'll probably head over to Salute again, but that'll be like it was last year, which was just a 1-day trip, just over in the morning, back in the evening. But other than that, I need to literally have a calendar and people to be like, "There's this on, it's on here. There's this on, it's on here," because I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's at what. And some conventions you go to, and they're like, I was invited to GriffCon. I went to GriffCon not last year, but the year before. And like the guy was like, "Do you want to come over?" And I was like, "Sure." I booked my own flights and my own accommodation, and I came over. We're having a big convention, cool. And then it was like 2 rooms, and there was nothing going on, man. There was one hall for games, and no games were being played. And then there was a trade hall, and like there was more staff than people. It was just a really bizarre experience. Um, so yeah, they invited me back this year, and I was just like it literally does nothing for me. Like it's just costing me money. There's no one to meet. There's nothing to do. Like I'm sorry, but like no. So it's hard for me to know whether a convention is going to be that or whether it's going to be worth my time.
Yeah.
Um.
It's
So
got to
yeah,
be a weird one for someone in your position to be invited to one of these sorts of events, to come over to it, and you're there just to sort of be you and to have people meet and greet you.
yeah,
I've obviously seen, like, I know a lot of these events now are starting to do more of meet your favorite creator type things. Um, what does that sort of feel like to have people walk up and recognize you and be like, "I've watched your video on this, and just sort of chat to you like off the bat"?
it's bizarre. Like I remember the last Warhammer Fest that was on, which was 2 or 3 years ago now. But I was only doing this stuff for a year at that point, and I went over and I got stopped every 5, 6 minutes, being like, "Oh, I really like your videos and shit. Can I get a photo?" I'm like, "You want a photo? What's the photo for? Like, what's going on here?" Um, and that was a surreal experience because I was with a bunch of my friends as well who I think didn't quite get it, and then they kept seeing me get stopped over, and they're like, "What is going on here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm kind of a big deal over here, don't you know?" Um, so we had a lot of fun with that, and then yeah, I was the same at Salute, and like when I went to Salute, I was just there to have fun by myself. I didn't plan anything, and I was walking around, and then my phone was ringing, and I looked at my phone, and it said Salute. I was like, this building is calling me. What is going on here? Like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, Peachy can't make it to his panel. Will you step in and be in his panel? I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. And then it was funny. I'm just like, Peachy stunt double because both bald and both beard. So apparently that's now a thing. We're just each other's stunt double when we need it. Um, so I was sat on a panel and talked shit and had a bit of fun and a bit of banter and had the crowd laughing and stuff. So that was really good. Um,
I mean, you must have not thought that this, like, when you left Games Workshop, that the trajectory would be like this. I mean, it must have been the furthest thing from your mind that you would be getting recognised and being asked to stand in for people and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, it's I don't know. I've got a bizarre sense of belief in myself. Um, I just yeah, I work hard. Some people may think I don't work hard. A lot of my friends would still be like, he doesn't have a real job, like. Um, but it's just like I work 60 to 70, 80 hours a week every week. Like it's never ending. Um, so and he put like before I left, I was already on 3,000 subscribers. You know, it's not a lot, but I was only doing it for like a very small amount of time. Um, and like my videos are already getting recognized, and people are coming to me in the shop now that I've worked there and be like, "Man, I seen your video. It's really cool." And like I had a dad come in one day and been like, "Oh, you're here. My son is around the corner. He can't wait to see you. He can't wait to meet a YouTuber." And I was like, "What are you? I'm not a YouTuber. I put up like 4 videos. What are you talking about?" Um, but I had seen other channels. Basically, what I did was this is going to sound kind of horrible, but it's a real way of me. I need to have targets. Could work together for 15 years. I'm built on targets. Um, so I have a kill list, which is literally I pick the next creator up from me with the next more subscribers. I'm like, I'm gonna pass you, and then when I pass you, I'm like, who's the next? I'll pass you. Who's next? Pass you. And over the past 3 years, all the ones I thought I'd pass her, I'm like you know what I mean? Like we take like um, Mikey from people want to say Honest Wargamer, but it's not Honest Wargamer. It's the other one, Hellstorm Wargaming.
That's all, yeah.
So like he started when I started, he was on like 40,000 subscribers, and now he's on 50, and I'm on 70.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So he was 40,000 ahead of me, and he does good content. He puts out good stuff. And then yeah, so I just pick the next person, and I work hard to beat them. And I know it's a weird kind of horrible way to do it, but it keeps me motivated and it gives me a target to achieve. Because if you don't have a target, then you're just like, how many subscribers do you want this year? Some. Like that doesn't mean anything. Like you got to figure out your target and then work backwards and how you're going to achieve that target. So, um,
Yeah,
sorry, with that, leaving Games Workshop, sorry, to go back to your actual point, it was nerve wracking, but I had already got like a base set up of like 3,000 subscribers, and I
Yeah.
already felt like it was going somewhere. And yeah, it was cool. I put out that launch video with I left Games Workshop after 15 years. I think Mopey, it was so good and got like 100,000 views or whatever. Like even Army Painter contacted me after that and were like, I'm sending you all my paints. And they sent me like hundreds of paints and stuff like that out of nothing. And I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, like we don't do that. We just want to bring people on, and I think that's one of the reasons why we actually come back on as well, because you are like there's no airs or graces, not in a disrespectful way. Like you are, as you say, you shoot for that. If you say aye, you say aye. If you say no, you're going to say no. And I think that's like one of the reasons why we actually come back on, because you are a genuinely nice guy, like. So
Yeah.
and you do work hard, and we do enjoy. Like I do watch your videos, like I do follow your Death Guard scheme. Tweaked it a wee bit from my own, so it's not a direct copy, so I don't get sued. You don't come up to Donegal and pick it out of me. But like anybody I've spoken to, like I was speaking to Eon McMinnies earlier on, he messaged me saying, "Oh, what a guy to have on." That's what I know. That's the second time when I have him on. Like you're so well thought of in the community as well. I think it's because you are such a genuine guy. You do get other people that are just bell ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think also going on to like just what you're saying about sounding harsh for your targets. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Myself and Dunk, we're a bit lazy. We don't give a shit about that sort of stuff. But if it is your job, you've got to think about it as a job. And you know, when you've been in that, having come from like starting off in retail myself and getting up to management and being driven targets, makes perfect bloody sense. Why wouldn't you? Because otherwise, all you're going to be doing is, oh look, this creator's got a new video out. Yay! Clap, clap, clap. Here's my new one. Yay! No, you've got to push yourself. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
And
And that's why
I think as well, sorry to jump in, I think as well it's because you don't try and copy other people.
yeah.
It's different that in that way, like because you're not copying. You've not seen Davey Johnson doing a video. You go, oh, that seems to get him some views. Maybe I should do the same sort of thing. I think you stay honest to yourself, which is.
Yeah.
And if anybody asks me, oh, how do you prime your models? I'll point them to your basing videos, your priming videos. But honestly, you can do it. If I can do his basing or priming, you can do it as
Yeah,
well.
and then I always say that I got that basing scheme from Squidmar's. Like Lucas's first video on was painting a fleshier quartz box in 8 hours. I love that video, and I learned that spray like at the start. Every time I do it on video, I'm like, I didn't invent this. It's from that person. Like, and people seem to really like that as well. I do that a lot in videos where it's like, I found this from this channel and I found this from this channel, and I've gotten loads of comments been like, I really think it's great that you actually mentioned who you got it from as well. Like, it's not so.
Even when you're going back to what you were saying earlier, even when you were doing your Emperor's Children, you're brutally honest. You're going, didn't think this purple would work, but it's actually worked. You can see the trial and error in your videos. It's not like you did it and then you've edited it out and you went and did something else. I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking at the colours and I don't know what one to pick. Even like with your Fieldrun video, when you were doing the vials, I didn't have that colour, so I just chose red because I didn't have that colour that you had. But you were honest when you were saying once I did it in the Agrax, it worked.
Yeah.
I think that honesty as well is what's made I think has been pretty refreshing in that chat in that aspect.
And I've gotten lots of comments about that as well. So thanks for leaving in the mistakes. So it's not just, these painters that just get everything right and it's just this perfectly polished result. It's like, no, man, it's hobby. It's trial and error. Shit doesn't work. I always say paint's great because you can paint over what you did wrong. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They're only war dollies. You're grand.
Right, guys, I think that's probably a good way to end the No New Guest November. We started in Donegal and we've ended in Dublin. For people that don't follow you or anything like that, do you want to give it a shout where they can follow you and find you or anything else that you want to promote?
The two primary places are, of course, YouTube and Instagram. You can give me a follow on both and a subscription on the other. And check out my videos, check out my posts, and thank you so much for listening. Hope you
remember, you'll be on Twitch tomorrow. If you get Prime, use your free Prime subscription to help boost his
Bezos
Twitch
books.
as well.
The Bezos books is what I say every time someone subscribes Prime. Bezos gives the gazillion. He has the money, he can afford to subscribe.
I must say, the Twitch Primes have been up in price as well. So they're up. Yeah.
Everything's gone up, man.
I suppose If he wants to get any space, he's got to buy that new wife as well, I suppose. Casey, any final words of wisdom from yourself?
No, nothing at all. Just again, thank you for coming back on and chatting to us. It's been an absolute privilege. That does wrap up no new guest November, which I'm looking forward to next year's already because I think this is a great feature.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. It's very smart.
Folks, that is us for tonight. We are back we're back next week for obviously December. We've got 2 new guests, I think, coming in, and then we'll have our final year-end show, which will be our third chaos show of the year, which is a free for all. So feel free to join us.
We'll type next week's guest. He did join in the chat earlier. I can't remember his username because I'm just like you. I'm shit with memory, but he's the guy he's doing short videos on Instagram at the moment where his little girl's doing the audio for him. I don't know if you've seen them, but they crack me up.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah, he's going to come on. He's going to chat to us because I think it's really cool. He's got a 6-year-old girl. He shows her how to paint things. The little kid's just painting away, shouting at the TV. Magnus did nothing wrong and stuff like that. And it's just funny. So you know what? Great. He's coming on. He's going to chat to us. It's going to be a good show. I think it's
fantastic. Awesome. Love it.
Folks, Andy, thanks again for coming on. Folks, see you next week. Stay safe and remember, never eat yellow snow. Bye-bye.
Good.
Bye.